Total Extreme Wrestling, my name is BrendenPlayz. Welcome back to our All Elite Wrestling Save. Week number 1 of November. We have entered a new month as we are currently building towards Full Gear, only a few weeks away from that pay-per-view. A lot's been happening since we last had an episode, and you can see right here a lot of news to cover. Mainly a lot of contracts that are expiring. So let's have a quick look at who has become available or who will be coming available when their contracts expire. We have some for ourselves, so we have a few people that we need to try and retain. But in terms of maybe the WWE, John Cena, his contract is up, and obviously 89 popularity. It would be amazing to have him in our company, but it just wouldn't make any sense. It's not realistic. So we'll make sure that he stays with the WWE. Asuka, her contract is up. She would be a great addition to the roster. 76 popularity somehow. You know, she's actually been given a push in the game. And, you know, the WWE has managed to get her popularity, I would assume, from low 60s to 76, which is really, really good. But, again, 40 years of age. At this point in her career, I don't see her jumping ship to AEW, so we'll give her a pass. Joey Janela, his contract is up, and we will not be renewing it. We're going to let Joey Janela go. Don't see much value in Joey. Apparently he's got really good mic skills. I don't know how or why, but yeah, in ring, he's, you know, look, he doesn't do that bad. Like, he's not bad. Averaging 55, we just don't have anything for him. You know, I'm never going to really push the guy. I don't have any interest in using him. Let's just let him go. Shelton Benjamin, his contract is up, 46 years of age. Don't see him really having a place on our roster. Bobby Roode, similar situation, 44. I'm a big fan of Bobby Roode, always have been for many years now. He's actually out injured with a broken neck. So he's not coming back anytime soon anyway. So you can forget about that. But Bobby Roode, big guy, a big name that I would love to have on our roster at some point, but just, you know, it's not the right time. Seth Rollins, I mean, he's one guy that he could potentially make the jump, but if you think about it, he's one of the top guys in WWE. Becky Lynch is there. She's one of the top women in the WWE. Why would he make that move? Why would he jump over when things are going so well for him? And again, you know, just would not be a good career move for him. And I don't really, yeah, he would do pretty well in AEW, let's be real, but I don't think we really need him. Dolph Ziggler, similar situation, 41 years of age, a veteran now, been around for a long time. Probably should have made the jump a couple of years ago when AEW first started, if he was available. I feel like he may have been, or at least I remember some times where his contract was up and a lot of people were telling him to go to Japan or go to Impact or do something, change it up, do something different. He never did. I just don't see Dolph Ziggler ever leaving the WWE. The only way he'll leave is if he gets fired. So, Evil Uno, his contract is up. We have decided to renew it. We've given him a 6-month extension. Jungle Boy, obviously, we want to make sure we keep Jungle Boy. I've offered him a 5-year deal, so I want to make sure that Jungle Boy is not going anywhere. Ali, we just started giving her a renewed push. She is 35, so she's certainly getting up there in age. She's probably passing her prime at the moment, but certainly has a bit of value. Teaming her at the moment with Penelope Ford, a part of Superbad, which I think will be a nice little group for us going forward. So we have a purpose for her. Dustin Rhodes, obviously, as long as Cody Rhodes is around, there's always something for Dustin Rhodes to get involved with. You know, clearly right now, considering he's been involved with MJF and Wardlow, and of course Cody and that storyline, so he still has some value in that regard. And obviously as a road agent, you know, he's got a lot more value there too. So Dustin will always have a place, I feel, on this roster. Pete Dunne, his contract is up in NXT. A lot of people are big fans of Pete Dunne. For me personally, I'm not really, so I don't really have any interest in bringing him in. Colt Cabana, we did decide to renew him. There was a temptation to kind of let him go, but he has been performing pretty well, and he does really suit as a gatekeeper sort of guy, someone that can put over the next guy coming through, a la Ricky Starks at the moment. So, he has served his purpose. Only 4 wins and 25 losses. So he's not exactly winning much. He's not exactly accomplishing a lot for us. But he is helping to put over the next crop of talent coming through. And he's still got some decent popularity, so he has a purpose. Lastly, Anna Jay. So we wanted to make sure we kept Anna Jay as well. I believed I offered her a 4-year deal. If you have a look at Anna Jay, in January 21, she had 19 popularity. She now currently has 34, 35 in most areas. And even in October, she only had 29. So she's had a real jump in progression in the last little bit after picking up a few wins. This tag team with her and Ty Conti is working pretty well. So I feel like Anna Jay has a huge ceiling. She's only 23, still very green. I feel like Anna Jay could really be a big star at some point. So we definitely are going to invest in her, and we've given her a long contract to match that. So yeah, lots of people potentially on the move. Not everybody there was given a contract offer by the WWE. So someone like Billy, like Shelton Benjamin, for example, he wasn't given a contract, so he might be leaving and possibly joining another promotion as well. So our world of wrestling continues to grow, and the other companies could definitely prosper and sign some more guys to make their companies better. The only downside about TW is it does take a long time to kind of sign all these new free agents to the companies, or they might not even do it at all. So there's a lot of people that may just kind of flounder around and not really do a lot, which is a bit of a shame. But we do have Dynamite booked. Obviously, we're only a couple of weeks away from Full Gear, and we have a big episode planned. We're trying to go all out, no pun intended here. We're trying to have a few big matches. We've got a big final segment. Let's jump into it. Alright, on the pre-show, Will Hobbs picked up a win over Joey Janela. So this is going to be happening for Joey. Because we're not going to renew his contract, and he does have about 40 popularity, we're going to have him put over a few of our emerging talents. And although it is the pre-show and probably won't help Will Hobbs out too much, we figured, why not? Let's do it. 47 for the match. Double Trouble, which of course is Big Swell and Diamante, took on Julia Hart and Mel. An odd tag team for them to beat, Julia Hart and Mel, but I just wanted them to get a win. I didn't really care who it was. I just didn't want to sacrifice anybody of notable name. Mel, we only have 1 month left on her contract, so she'll be leaving the company when her contract expires as well. So don't expect her to be around for too much longer, so that's why she'll probably take a lot more L's on the way out. 31 for that one. Alright, we open up the show with Jeff Hardy and Rey Fenix one-on-one, a 74 rated match. Jeff was off his game and was tiring towards the end, yet still got a 71 rated performance. Still pretty good. Rey Fenix, 65. I feel like Rey was probably a little bit down on what he could do. But a strong, solid match between the two best workers out of these two teams. Definitely expected a 70 plus match between these two, and I think 74, that's I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. So in the end, Jeff Hardy picked up the win, hit the Swanton Bomb to grab the win for his team. MJF cuts a promo on the Nightmare Family and how he plans to destroy them. So obviously recently we had our Dynamite and Rampage, and we had MJF and Wardlow that defeated Cody and Dustin, and after the match, Dustin was just so frustrated with himself and upset with himself that maybe there's some dissension being created there. But strong promo from MJF, 94. Sammy Guevara had a one-on-one match with Ethan Page and picked up the win in a 71 rated match. Sammy, 75. Ethan Page, pretty good, 50. Solid win here for Sammy. Wanted to get him on the show, wanted to give him a win under his belt once again to keep building his momentum. Post-match, Chris Jericho attempted another blindside assault but failed. Sammy Guevara fought back and got the upper hand. So we advanced that storyline. So Chris Jericho, he's already managed to take Sammy Guevara out and put him on the shelf for a few weeks. Well, he tried it again. This time Sammy Guevara was ready for it, and it did not quite work to plan for Chris. Colt Cabana took on Brian Cage in a 65 rated match. Of course, Ricky Starks and Colt are in a storyline. Brian Cage still involved with Ricky Starks, And in the end, Ricky Starks screwing over Colt, interfering to allow Brian Cage to win. And of course, the FTW World title, he put that on the line as well, because why not? He's got it, so we might as well put it on the line whenever he has a match, which actually isn't very often. So 65 for that one, Brian Cage 65, Colt 45. There you go, Colt 45. Jade Cargill and Britt Baker with a 61 rated segment. Wow. Jade and Britt meet in the middle of the ring, and they promo back and forth, trading some verbal shots at one another. So these two just kind of talking a lot of trash ahead of their match. 61, great stuff. Both of them more than capable on the mic and delivering a great segment. This might be one of the best women's segments we've ever had. 61 is really good. Christian Cage took on Park one-on-one. 75 rated match. Christian with a surprise win over Park after he used the ropes for leverage to cheat his way to a victory. So two heels fighting it out here, and in the end, they both tried to cheat their way to victory, and Christian was able to out-cheat Park. Christian 74, Park was excellent, 81, really good. Strong match, another really solid match. Hikaru Shida was interviewed by Tony Schiavone about Layla Hirsch, 53 for that one. Yeah, I feel like we'll try and sneak Layla and Shida on the pay-per-view. I feel like it could be an okay match, but it might help Layla Hirsch out, get a bit of popularity. If not, at least keep Shida relevant. We have dragged this feud out for a while. Maybe we should probably try and do it before the pay-per-view. The Super Elite, they cut a promo on tonight's main event. So we had the Elite talking about the upcoming match with Darby Allin, Malachi Black. Of course, they're talking about Punk and Danielson as well. 83 for that one. And the match itself, it was Darby and Malachi taking on the Young Bucks in our main event. 85 rated match. Holy. World Tag Team titles are on the line. The Young Bucks, they pick up the win, cheating their way to a victory as well. Near 20-minute match. These two teams just went out there and gave everything they had. Malachi 81, Darby 65, Nick Jackson 86, Matt Jackson 87. A bit of a lack of psychology on display, but apart from that, a stellar performance from both teams. Look, great to see Darby Allin in this sort of match, in this environment. Main event match, big scenario, and he's still hanging in there. He's certainly, he had that long injury for us, and he was out for a long, long time. So his progression has really been stunted, and it's taken a while for him to get over, but we're trying to make up for some lost time here, and these are the sort of matches that will certainly do that. The Young Bucks, they won though, 85, and here we go. CM Punk and Bryan Danielson return to fend off the Elite from an attempted attack. So here we go. This is where we're setting up for the big 4-on-4 match. I think we might go with an elimination style match. I know around this time WWE is going to do their Survivor Series tag team elimination match, but I was thinking, do we go blood and guts? Well, yes, but I don't think it really warrants it that yet. But an elimination style match could be really, really good. You could have Darby Allin get a bit of a strong performance. He might go out early. The Young Bucks, they could go out. You could have a big showdown between Kenny and CM Punk or Danielson. There's a lot you could really do with that, and I think that would be a really fun sort of environment. Or you could just do a standard 4-on-4 and have someone take the pin, for example, like Darby Allin could take the pin. There's a few things we have to think about, but definitely a 4-on-4 at the pay-per-view is where we are headed. 98 for the return segment, and it's good to have Punk and Danielson back. We've been struggling a little bit with some of our performances. When we did have them on the show, it's no doubt our shows were much higher quality. We spent maybe a good month without them on TV to try and keep them special, keep their appearances, top notch. And of course, we had this in Chicago, so Punk's going to appear in Chicago. Huge pop, and hopefully it can turn into some good ratings for us. 83 for this show, and that's probably one of our best Dynamites to date, if not ever. Alright, let's take a look at our rating for the show. Wow, okay, we had a 1.71 TV rating, which was about 1.3 million viewers. huge numbers. 964,000 people watched on TNT. So no doubt about that. That's one of our best ever Dynamites that we've been able to put together. I'm not sure if it's our best ever Dynamite. Best ever TV rating, yes. We hit that, we blew that out of the park. 1.71. Our next best was 1.52. So clearly our best ever TV rating, and it is our second best ever Dynamite. So it is that bit of a CM Punk Danielson effect, I feel. But let's be real, it wasn't necessarily all them, as Ali, her contract is all good. So yeah, look, it's really positive to know that we can get things done at a high level without, having those huge names on the show. Darby Allin, he gained a popularity point after being involved in that main event and of course that final segment, so that's really positive. Bryan Danielson, he's gained a popularity point up to 80 now, which is huge. CM Punk 85, that's good. The Young Bucks, we've really struggled to get them over. They just haven't really gained a lot of popularity. They're still around that 70 to 71 mark, which is okay, but you feel like you could have them at a much higher level. Adam Cole, he's been gaining a little bit as of late as well, nearly at 75, which is good. He started at 72, so a good progression already for him. Some other names, Will Hobbs, not too much progression out of him. Jeff Hardy had a good match, he's around 73. I'm thinking I might have the Lucha Bros beat the Hardys though, and go with that and kind of put them over big time with a huge win there. Christian, he had a good match at Park. He's at 72. Park in the high 60s as well. So yeah, there you go. A good solid event there for our Dynamite. And speaking of events, we had decided to add a new addition to our December lineup. So I was thinking, looking at our company size and where we're at, obviously USA, we're doing really well there. But internationally, we're really struggling, obviously because of COVID. We haven't been able to go to any of these areas. I think it's time that we visit somewhere. I think it's time we make the plunge and we actually show up overseas. So we have decided we're going to do a UK show. And we're going to do that in December. So probably in real life, we're probably jumping the gun a little bit here. But we're going to call it AEW Royal Flush. And that's going to obviously play off on the whole royal family sort of situation, also continuing with the casino theme. So we're going to call the event AEW Royal Flush. Now that of course is playing off on the whole royal family theme, and this is going to be in London, so it also keeps it in line with our casino theme as well. So I thought it was a nice mix to cover both different things there. I was thinking of some sort of name play with London involved, like live in London or something like that, but I think Royal Flush works for me. I really like the idea of it. We're going to take that in week 3 in December. Now, the only problem about doing an overseas show is in real life, it would be a banger. It's going to be great. In TEW land, even some of our biggest names are not overseas. Look at Kenny Omega, he's got 60 popularity overseas. So it's tricky. It really is tricky. Even like CM Punk, 79 in the British Isles. So it's not going to be easy to have a great show, but it's important that we get overseas and we start trying to get a bit of a presence in those areas live. So that's what we're going to try and do. I don't know about the card yet or what we're going to have planned for, but we'll play it by ear and we'll hopefully try and have the best possible show we can going forward. So, well, look, obviously Full Gear, 9 days away. That's our focus for now, but in the back of the mind, that's what we can kind of work towards. Now, obviously, quick little look at the end of the month stuff that we recently had. Merchandise. Last month's best merchandise seller, CM Punk, 589,000. That is 5 times more than the next, which was, of course, Cody Rhodes, 132,000. It's good to see the world champ is up there. John Moxley, 109. Bryan Danielson, 94. Kenny Omega, Adam Page. Malachi, Jeff Hardy, Miro, and Chris Jericho round out the top 10. Interesting. So, a few guys there, like, for example, Chris Jericho, pretty low on the list, but of course, being a heel would play into that. And we did gain $637,000. That's without doing a pay-per-view. in October. So we are well and truly cash flow positive at this stage. So we are certainly generating some money, and that gives us a lot of breathing room as well going forward. So the other thing we decided to do is we obviously have TBS coming up in real life. We did sign new TV deals with them, but the problem we have is our TV deals with TNT are 3 years long, so they still have a long time to go, which means that, well, we just won't be able to have TBS as our broadcaster because we have to pay $3.5 million to get out of our TV deal, and I have no interest in doing that just to match what's happening in real life. So we have a 3-year deal, we're going to honor that, so we won't be moving to TBS. Alright, on to AEW Dark, and one thing we did do with Dark is we actually extended the show to be 90 minutes. So that gives us an extra half an hour to play with every week. I just felt as though we weren't getting enough people on the shows, and we weren't really having that flexibility of just having a regular match. Felt like we always had to advance the storyline, we just weren't able to spotlight a few people. So a little bit extra time, and we don't have to do as much pre-show stuff as well. So I feel like that could really benefit from us. And we don't obviously have AEW Dark Elevation, so just the one. So it kind of makes sense to have a lengthier Dark anyways. With that being said, let's jump into it. So to start things off, Team Taz holds a retirement ceremony for Colt Cabana, who plays along, but eventually he starts a brawl and he gets the upper hand and is able to take care of Starks and Brian Cage for a moment there. So, yeah, obviously Colt's been losing a lot, and Team Taz are trying to, look, you need to call it a day, Colt. You're finished here. So they kind of have a retirement. Colt Cabana says he's going to retire, but eventually he has enough of that, and the brawl breaks out. Next up, 2.0 took on the Varsity Blondes. We gave the Varsity Blondes a win. Here, obviously, both teams don't have enough popularity. We knew that was going to be the case, but I wanted to have this match on a main show. I wanted to actually be featured, get on TV, and actually potentially gain something out of this. So, Varsity Blondes grabbed the win over 2.0, and that could be the end of the storyline between these two teams, potentially. Eddie Kingston talks about his future with Jon Moxley as a team. So we haven't used Moxley for a few weeks now, kind of playing off his real life struggles, I suppose. Eddie Kingston going on his own a little bit, potentially, but we actually haven't really had a chance to do too much with Kingston yet, so we might get him in a singles feud. So this is why having a bit more time on Dark is good. We can give someone like Kingston a promo here instead of him missing out. The Acclaim, they pick up a win over the Gun Club, 25 rated match. Obviously not enough popularity again here, but we want to try and get them spotlighted, get them over, and the only way to do that is by getting them on the show. Post-match, this is where it matters the most. Lio Rush shakes hands with the Acclaimed, and they sign the contract to join the portfolio. So we've been teasing it for a few weeks now. It's official, the Acclaimed joining Lio Rush and his new group. So I think that's a good get. Obviously, they've seen the value that Lio Rush has given them, and that might hopefully be the start of something good for them, because I would like to try and get them over. I like the Acclaimed, but they just don't have enough popularity, so by putting them with Liam Rush, it might help them a little bit. Layla Hirsch defeated Mel one-on-one for a 26 rated match. Again, not enough popularity, and I knew this was going to be a common thing, but we wanted to give Layla Hirsch a win ahead of her match with Sheeta, 39 by Layla, which was pretty good. Next up, Will Hobbs and Bobby Fish agree to fight at Full Gear. So Bobby Fish has been ducking Will Hobbs for the last few weeks now, and he finally agrees, let's do it at Full Gear when the biggest money that we can get is on the line. 52 for that one. Super Bad, which of course is Ali, Penelope Ford, and Jamie Hayter, took on Thunder Rosa and Double Trouble. Super Bad picked up the win in a 24 rated match. Again, not enough popularity. Yeah, Thunder Rosa put in this one and taking an L. Now, if you don't remember, Thunder Rosa suffered a neck injury in our game, so she's pretty much done. She's not going to be any good anymore. She can still wrestle, but it really severely impacts her performances, so we can't really push her anymore. So we're going to have her probably take a few more L's going forward. This time it was just in a 6-woman environment, so it won't really affect her too much, but Super Bad with the win. Wardlow picked up a 5-minute squash victory over Joey Janela, 49 for that one. Wanted to give Wardlow some time here and get him a victory. Serena Deeb responds to Ruby Soho's recent remarks that were made about her, basically saying that Ruby basically said Serena has no class and nobody respects her anymore, so Serena responding to that. Our main event was Lance Archer and Carl Anderson in a one-on-one matchup. So Lance Archer picked up the win over Anderson, 55 rated match. We did try have these two guys kind of go all out as well here, so we didn't really think about having two back-to-back crazy matches. We probably needed to have something put in the middle there. We did kind of tweak the card a little bit in the positioning, so we might have got that one wrong. Probably hurt the match in the end. Paul White was on commentary to kind of call the action, so that's kind of why we did that, to try and play off that. In the end, an average show, just the 50 rated. And for Rampage, on the pre-show, we had Private Party and The Factory, 46 rated match. Isaiah 57, wow. Mark Quinn 50 was good as well, so some good results all around there. On the main show, we had Cody and MJF agreeing to a Nightmare Family versus Pinnacle match just before Full Gear. So Cody basically saying, I'll bring my best guys, you bring your best guys, and we'll fight it out before we fight at Full Gear for the championship. 99 for that segment. Really good stuff there. So as I said, the last few episodes, we're trying to incorporate more guys into the storyline to get more people over. This is one of the ways we're going to do that. Obviously, Nightmare Family is going to be a pretty weak team, let's be real. MJF's Pinnacle is going to be much stronger, and we'll probably win, but look, it's a chance for these young guys to get a shot in a big main event match. Paul White defeated Luke Gallows in a 64 rated match. 10-minute match in the end. Paul White 72, Luke Gallows 55. Lance Archer and Jake Roberts ringside for this one, watching on 64, improving the storyline heat. That's good. Cassie Lee and Anna Jay had a 46 rated match. Wow. There you go. Cassie Lee 43, Anna Jay 37. Cassie Lee picked up the win thanks to a distraction by Jessie McKay. So a bit of a screwy finish there to give Cassie the victory ahead of their Full Gear clash. So good match. That's a solid women's match. Anything that's 40 plus, in my opinion, is really good for the women. All right, here we go. The two big guns are back. Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, back in the ring together, cutting a promo and challenging the Elite to a 4-on-4 match at Full Gear. 100 rated segment, two big stars. Obviously, that was always going to be a great segment with these two involved. Gaining storyline heat, and look, it's a great way to get Malachi and Darby over in the meet at the same time. And look, I think even the Elite will gain a lot out of being in this big 4-on-4 match as well. And our main event for this edition of Rampage was Adam Page teaming up with the Hardys to defeat Death Triangle. So obviously two feuds combining here and gaining heat for both of these storylines. Best in the match was was Adam Page, 87, Park 84, so Page just beating Park in the end. But look, everyone in this match did pretty well. The actual worst in the match was Penta with 66, which is still pretty good. So great match all around, 83 rated. We had these teams try their best to give the best possible match, and it worked out pretty well. We gave the babyfaces the victory here in the end. 83 rated match and a 74 rated edition. Obviously, we didn't have another really solid match on the card because it is rated off your best three matches. So, the women's match was decent, but obviously not amazing. The Paul White match was average. So, we had another strong match here. We probably could have hit around the 80 mark, but that's okay. We still had a good show. 74, I'm happy with that. Alright, and for Rampage, the rating 1.43, another strong one as we continue to build and build. 776,000 viewers on TNT. Lots of contracts being renewed as Jungle Boy, 5-year deal, he's sticking around. Dustin's got a 1 year. Evil Uno got 1 year in the end. Colt Cabana another year. And Anna Jay 4 years, all sticking around in AEW, which is great. So some success there in the end. We'll have a quick little look at our ratings. Anna Jay had some involvement there, no change for her. Obviously, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, another great segment. As Danielson, I'm sure he'll be 85 soon. It looks like 85 is our popularity cap. Nobody can go over that with our current company size, which is fine by me. I don't mind that, but would like to see a few more guys reaching that cap soon. But yeah, so some good results in the end. We're doing okay. Will Hobbs, working hard on him. Ricky Starks is another one. He had another good segment as well, so he's getting close. So there's a few names that we're certainly getting over, and that's the plan, obviously. Try and get as many guys as we can over in the next little bit. Some other guys like Anthony Bowens, his popularity has been a little bit lackluster, but we're making some progress. 18, it started at the beginning of the month, it was 18. Now he's at 20 for most areas. So that's some good progress. Max Caster, similar situation. So that's the Lio Rush effect. It's not a huge effect, but it still is something. They've gone from really doing nothing to getting somewhere. We did have them pick up a decent win as well. Only against the Gun Club. It's nothing special. So that's good. That we're actually starting to see the Acclaim get over, because we know that it's not easy to get guys over when they have very little popularity. So it's good to see that we are building some sort of momentum there. But we just have to keep on moving along. So we'll officially make Lio Rush the manager of both Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. And I feel like that's, as I said recently, it's going to be a good change for these guys' careers. I think what we need to do for the portfolio is probably add one more person, maybe a singles wrestler, and I think the group will be looking pretty good. It's not a bad prospect. It's going to be a lower tier group for sure, but there's definitely some potential there. Just not sure which extra singles person would make the most sense to join up with the group. But maybe it could be another tag team. Maybe it could be a woman, as we've mentioned in the past, but someone to join up with that anyways. But we're currently 1 week away from Full Gear, so we'll have one more round of shows, then it'll be Full Gear, and we'll try and make sure that our storylines are ready to go. Some of the big guns like Cody and MJF has had some great progress. Punk and the Elite, wow, 93, that is huge. Some of the other ones, like the Jericho and Guevara one, isn't so crash hot. The Hardys and Lucha Bros is red hot. Same with the TNT title one. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be really, really good on the pay-per-view. So let's hope that we can deliver when we get there. And we're going to be there very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.